Now let us discuss the methods of recording consignment transaction. In the books of consignor, we have two methods of recording consignment transaction. First one is cost price method and the second one is invoice price method. Now what is invoice price method, that we will discuss later on. Right now let us start with cost price method in the books of consignor. Now in the books of consignor, for consignment business we prepare following ledger account. First one is consignment account, second consignees account, third goods sent on consignment account, and fourth, inventories on consignment account. Now let us discuss in brief about all these accounts. Starting with the first one, consignment account. Now why this account is prepared? See, consignment account is mainly prepared to find out profit or loss on consignment business. Because as a consignor, you would like to know that how your consignment business is performing, whether we are having profit in that or we are suffering losses in that. So we prepare this account. Now, what if a consignor is having multiple consignment business? He is sending goods to different city on consignment basis. So he will not prepare one single account, but he will prepare different account like consignment to city A account, consignment to city B account, so that we'll come to know that which consignment business is performing how. Right. Then second here point we can discuss here, it records all expenditure income of consignment business. Quite obvious. Why? Because in consignment business, if you want to find out profit or loss, we should compare all income related to that business and all expenses related to that particular business. In other words, we can also say it is nothing but a combination of trading and profit and loss account, which are nothing but nominal accounts for consignment business. Why combination of trading and P&L? Because here it includes all the items which comes in trading and it includes all the item which comes in P&L. Say for example, sale of goods. Generally we record in trading account and main business. Commission paid to salesman. Here salesman is what? Consignee. So even it is recorded here. So it records all the transaction which we include in trading and profit and loss account. So we can say consignment is a combination of trading and profit and loss account for consignment business, and the nature is nominal. Right here, all direct as well as indirect income and expenses, everything is recorded. As we have discussed, it records everything related to consignment business. The second account is consignees account. Now why this account is prepared? Obviously consignee is our agent and will be doing so many transactions in a regular basis with consignee. So this account is mainly prepared to route all the transaction for anything received or receivable, paid or payable. Then the nature of this account is personal, and if any amount is receivable from consignee, say for example he has sold goods on our behalf, so he is liable to pay that much amount to us and we are supposed to receive from him, so we will debit his account. And at the same time, as an incentive for goods sold by him, we are liable to pay him commission, so we will credit his account. In detail we will discuss with the journal entries. Then the next account we have is goods sent on consignment. Now, what is goods sent on consignment? See, it's a temporary account which is prepared in order to record all the inflow outflow of goods to consignment business. So whenever we are sending some goods from main business, our goods are going out. So we credit this particular account, and when the goods are coming back from consignment business, we debit this account. Still, in detail, we will discuss about this transaction when we are discussing journal entries, right? And obviously, as the goods are going out of my main business, we credit this account to our trading account at the end of the period. The last account is inventory on consignment account. Now, what is inventory on consignment account? It denotes goods lying unsold with consignee. It is as good as our stock that we record in our trading account. So inventory on consignment account is used to denote opening and closing inventory in consignment business. If we have some opening goods, opening stock, then we record inventory on consignment on debit side of consignment account, just like we write opening stock on debit side of trading account. And if we have some inventory at the end lying with consignee unsold, we will credit this to consignment account, just like we credit closing stock to our trading account. And as you know, this is nothing but my stock. So inventory on consignment at the end of the period should be recorded in balance sheet also in the books of consignor, because he is the owner of this particular goods. I hope the brief description, brief explanation was clear. What next? Yeah, journal entries. So let us discuss about the transaction one by one. The first transaction we have here is goods sent. Now, what do you mean by goods sent? Goods sent means goods sent by consignor to consignee on consignment basis. Now, when these goods are sent, how do we treat this? First of all, why these goods are sent? Obviously for selling purpose. When these goods will be sold by consignee, can we say it is an income for consignment business? Obviously yes. So as per matching principle, we know that in order to generate revenue, if any expenses has been incurred, it should be debited or it should be matched with that particular revenue, right? So here, this particular goods sent should be debited to consignment account and treated as an expenditure, just like purchase for normal business. And for this particular transaction, a special account is opened for recording all inflow and outflow from consignment and to consignment business, that is known as goods sent on consignment. This record outflow of goods from your principal main business for any other purpose. So this account is prepared, and at the end we will close this account and we transfer it to trading account. We will discuss the logic behind that one later on when that entry will come. So what entry we pass over here? Consignment account debit to goods sent on consignment. Now here consignment account I'm saying, but in practical life what they do is, let's say we have sent goods on consignment basis to city A. So instead of consignment account, they write consignment to city A account. As we have discussed that for different consignment business, we prepare different consignment accounts. So here, rather to say consignment account, I will say respective consignment account should be debited. Let us check the next transaction. The next transaction is expenses paid by consignor. Now, what do you mean by expenses paid by consignor? Generally, consignee might be residing at a different place. So, consignor may have to incur certain expenses in order to sending goods there. Maybe some special packaging, freight, carriage, transit insurance, right, etc., etc. So, all these are nothing but expense for business. So, whatever expenses we incur for consignment business should be debited to consignment account. And when consignor, if you focus on the word here, expenses paid by consignor. So it denotes payment of expenses. And when we say payment, it will lead to what? Outflow of cash or maybe reduction in your bank balance. So that account should be credited. So your journal entry for this transaction will be consignment account debit to cash or bank account. Let us discuss the next transaction. Expenses paid by consignee. Now, what do you mean by expenses paid by consignee? Consignee will take delivery of goods at his place. Then he may incur certain loading unloading charges. He may incur certain expenses for bringing that goods to his godown, or maybe he might be paying some godown rent, maybe some insurance for the godown, right? Or maybe some salary to the salesman, or let us say some advertisement charges. All these are nothing but expenses for consignment business. See, expenses will remain expense whether it is incurred by consignor or by consignee. But one thing is sure, it is expenditure for consignment business, so we should debit it. But tell me one thing, whether this particular transaction involves any outflow of cash? Yes, sir. It involves outflow of cash by consignee. Are we recording transaction in the books of consignee? No. We are recording transaction in the books of consignor. So there is no outflow of cash or reduction in bank balance for consignor, but rather he is now under the obligation to pay this much amount to consignee. He's supposed to reimburse this amount to consignee. So his account should be credited. So your journal entry should be consignment account debit to consignee account. Clear? The next transaction, sales, whether cash or credit. Now see, one thing is sure, whether goods are sold for cash or it is sold on credit. In both the circumstances, it is an income for consignment business. So it should be credited to consignment account. And what to debit? If goods are sold for cash, are we getting cash? No. Whatever cash is collected, it is collected by consignee. If consignee has sold goods on credit, obviously the debtors, or to put in other words, like consignment debtor, will pay this amount to whom? Our agent only, consignee, and consignee will remit this amount to us. So can we say this amount is receivable from consignee? Yes. So his account is debited. So my journal entry will be consignee account debit to consignment account. Correct. The next one is goods taken by consignee. Now, what do you mean by goods taken by consignee? See, goods taken by consignee means goods are used or goods are purchased by consignee himself. There is a transfer of ownership from consignor to consignee. It's quite possible whatever goods we are selling, even consignee would like to purchase the same goods for his personal use, maybe, or he may want to do some business out of it. So he may purchase goods from us. Correct. So whether the goods are sold to outsider or it is sold to our agent only, it is revenue, it is an income for consignment business. So we should credit it, and consignee is liable to pay this much amount to us. So we are supposed to recover it from consignee. So his account should be debited. So the journal entry will remain same, just like your sales, consignee account debit to consignment. Why? Because consignor is transferring ownership. Now, whether it is purchased by our agent only from us, or agent is selling to someone else and then he's collecting, in both the case, he is responsible to reimburse or remit that particular amount to us. Next one, commission. Now, what is commission? Commission is nothing but incentive given by consignor to consignee for services rendered by him. Commission is one of the expense by consignor, or you can say for consignment business. So therefore, it should be debited to consignment account. Now, are we going to pay this commission in cash? Generally, no. Commission won't lead to outflow of cash, but rather our inflow will reduce. How? See, commission is generally given on goods sold by consignee. So whatever goods consignee has sold, for that we are supposed to recover that much amount from consignee. So what we do, instead of paying commission to consignee, we will recover lesser amount of sales. It's one and the same thing. Either you take full amount and then you pay commission, or rather you take the net amount from him. So we generally do not credit here cash or bank, but rather for this we give credit to consignee. So your journal entry will be consignment account debit to consignee. Now here, one thing you should note is we never open commission account in the books of consignor. Why? See, if you have focused, unlike your trading P&L, normal business account, we open all the account like freight or commission account or rent account. But here, if you have focus for even expenses paid by consignor for special packaging or for freight or for transit insurance, or even expenses paid by consignee like go down rent, insurance of go down, we are not opening those accounts specifically, but instead we directly debit to consignment account. Why so? Because the main reason behind this is, in trading and P&L, we do not have these two accounts throughout the year. Trading as well as P&L we prepare at the end of the year. Correct. But consignment account, we will be having throughout the period. So what we do, we directly debit to consignment account. But yes, when you debit directly to consignment account, inner column, if you want, you can give disclosure for all the expenses. That we will discuss when we'll be solving questions. So you will have a better idea, right? Let us move towards the next transaction. The next transaction we have is closing inventory. Now it's quite obvious that whatever goods consignor is sending to consignee may not be able to sell all the goods during that particular period, and he might be having some goods lying unsold with him. So this is nothing but consignment inventory. Clear? So now consignment inventory, as we have discussed earlier, that it is as good as stock of consignment business. So just like trading account, we credit closing stock. Here also, we credit this particular stock to what? Consignment account. And here we open one special account called inventory on consignment account, and it will be debited. Clear? So my journal entry will be inventories on consignment debit to consignment account. Now sometimes we use inventories on consignment. Sometimes they give consignment stock account or consignment inventory account, or even sometimes some authors are using inventories with consignee account. So you can use any of this account, right? Now this entry is for what? Closing stock, and this will come in balance sheet of consignor. But next year, or let's say next day, this entry will be reversed, because whatever is closing stock today, next day it will become opening stock. So for that, it is reverse entry, consignment debit to inventories on consignment. By doing this, you can say debit side we have opening inventory, and credit side we have closing inventory, just like your trading account. The next transaction that we have is profit or loss in consignment business. Now, what do you mean by profit? How we define profit? Profit is nothing but it is excess of income over expenditure. Quite obvious, right? If you have more income than expense, it results into profit. So profit, where it will come? See, if you just try to imagine your net profit and loss account, where do you write net profit? Debit side. Is it a debit balance? No, it is a credit balance, excess of credit. So the balancing figure we write on which side? Debit side, right? So it will be debited to consignment account. And consignment business is nothing but one of the extension of normal business, right? So whatever incidental income or extra profits we have, we bring it to our general P&L account. So we credit to our profit and loss account. So my journal entry will be consignment account debit to profit and loss account. Now this entry is particularly for profit. What if we have loss? So in case of loss, the said entry will be reversed. It will be P&L account debit to consignment account. Clear? The next one is transfer of goods sent on consignment. Now, if you remember, in first journal entry, we have discussed that whenever goods are sent to consignment business, we give credit to goods sent on consignment. We pass entry consignment account debit to goods sent on consignment account debit to goods sent on consignment. So this goods sent on consignment, it accumulates the net value of goods sent on consignment during a particular period. Clear? Now, as you know, we keep on crediting it. So if you want to close it, we have to debit it, right? We have to debit it. Now, where do we transfer it? If in this journal entry, if we are debiting goods sent on consignment, which account we should credit? So for that, I'm taking reference of some of the transaction that you must have learned earlier. Like if you are giving goods as a free sample, if you are distributing goods for free, then what entry we pass? Advertisement account debit to purchases. Whatever is the outflow of goods other than sales, we credit it to purchases. Or if you don't want to credit to purchase, we have like, one more option of crediting it to trading account. Clear? So here in consignment business, they have given guidelines to credit it to trading account. It's one and the same thing. No doubt it is not going out of the business, but yes, from principal business, it is going to what? Consignment business. So journal entry is goods sent on consignment account debit to trading account. The next one. The next one is final settlement or remittance. Now, what is final settlement or remittance here? See, consignee has to remit the money collected by him for cash sales as well as credit sales to consignor. So periodically he will send account sales to consignor, which includes that whatever goods he has sold at what value, then out of that how much commission is payable to him, then how much expenditures are reimbursable to him, how much advance he has already paid, which we need to set off against him, and net balance he will pay to consignor. So this amount, what he's paying to consignor is known as remittance or final settlement. Clear? So obviously consignor is getting money, so he is debiting cash. If he's receiving in the form of check or online transfer, he'll debit bank. Sometimes consignee also gives bill. So bills receivable account debit to what? Consignee. So debit what comes in cash account, bank or bills receivable, and everything is paid by consignee. Everything is given by consignee. So we credit to his account. But same to same thing. Or advance received from consignee. Now what is advance received from consignee? See, sometimes consignor, when he's sending goods to consignee for his security, what he will say that this goods is worth rupees, let's say 10 lakh rupees. You right now pay 2 or 3 lakh, 5 lakh, whatever is the agreement, but some amount he will take as an advance, which he will adjust against future remittance. This will make him sure that yes, he is having some possession of cash, he has recovered some amount. So this is nothing but a trust building exercise, or even in some case, this can be the policy of consignor. So whether the amount is received as the final remittance or amount is received as an advance. In both the cases, consignee is paying this amount, right? In both the circumstances, consignee is the one who is giving this amount. So the entry will remain same, whether I'm giving you this as a final settlement or I'm giving you as advance, this entry will remain same. I hope you have understood.